What's the relationship between reading, books, and concentration? Does reading enhance concentration in any way? Yes. How? Let's take a story and try and understand how reading develops the concentration in the mind. Before I go into the story, let's understand that concentration is not a faculty that is usually in isolation. It's woven up with another faculty. So when you're concentrating, very often other faculties are also creeping in. So in reading, let's just take the example of a story, imagination is woven in. All of us have been brought up on the story of the hare and the tortoise. It's a story that children are still told. It's a story that we've learned from, and the wisdom has come later. When a child is told the story, so the child is listening to the story, or the child is reading the story, in other words, it's not on screen. The child is not watching. So the eyes are not being used except perhaps in reading the words. So what's happening to the mind? Let's try and understand that. When let's say you come to the point when the hare is sleeping under a tree and the child is reading. Now the hare has rest and is now sleeping under a tree. Now what kind of hare? What did the hare look like? Was it brown? Was it white? Was it patched? How big was it? What kind of tree was it? Were there flowers around? Was it green everywhere? Were there patches of brown? What was the weather like? How blue was the sky? Now the child will have to imagine all this. But when it's being served on a screen, there is no imagination involved. So there's no imagination. So one, the faculty of imagination is deprived when the child is served on screen. Secondly, when that faculty is not being enhanced, not being tapped, concentration also suffers. So if you want concentration to deepen, reading will help more than showing things on the screen. I know the world has changed a lot. When we were kids, and I remember when we were doing teacher training, we would be told, prepare audio visual aids, prepare a chart, or prepare something visual so that it's not just reading. Now we've come full circle and we are saying, okay, deprive them of the visual and let the child imagine. Because imagination is going to help concentration, and of course it's going to enhance imagination. So reading is the faculty that, or reading is a skill that will enhance how a child is able to concentrate over time. So before internet came into the picture and television came into the picture, reading daily was a habit in many parts of the world. I remember I used to read a lot when I was a kid, regularly. So imagination was always at play. You were always thinking. Your mind grew at a different pace and also grew differently. It's not that children's minds are not growing today. They are. But we do find that concentration is lacking. The span of concentration is shorter. Why? Because you're showing a quick video. Whereas when you're reading, you can read for a longer time and you can read as per the age of the child. Of course, you can watch movies at the age of the child. That goes without saying. But reading helps the child's mind to be tapped rather than the director's mind who is creating the story and serving the visuals. So, if you want your child to have better imagination and deeper concentration, please give them books. Now, I want to talk about why books. And why am I not saying that you can read it on a Kindle? Maybe for an older child, a teenager, a Kindle works. But with the younger the child is, the more important it is to give them books of paper. Why do I say that? It's very simple. Most people will understand that the tactile sense, the sense of touch, also other senses, are very, very sensitive, very enhanced when the child is young. Make friends with books, with paper. Let them touch the book. Let them feel the characters. Let their fingers trace a figure on the book. So when that happens, what is happening? Even when the child is not able to understand or read the words, but say the kid is 2 years old, 2.5 years old, they're just flipping paper and they're just scribbling on it, that's fine. So what is happening? The child is making friends with these creatures called books. So when you learn to make friends with books, the books also become your friends and give you gifts. So the gift of a book, or any book, several books read over time regularly. Regularity is very important. You can't just do it once a week. That's not going to happen. That's not going to help beyond a point. You must try to create the habit of reading in the child. So in the beginning, you're going to have to read with the child. It's a good idea to sit with a book and ask your child to sit with you and you read. Even if you do it for 10 minutes a day. The point is you do it every single day. Regularity counts. It's going to make a lot of difference. So if you want your kids to have better concentration, more imagination, please introduce them to books and get them into the habit of reading. How to do it? 10 minutes a day till the point that I would say, of course, longer, but 10 minutes is minimum. So if you can do that slowly, when the child can read when they're a little older, when they're 4, 5, 6, 7, well, they won't need you. So that initial investment of time is going to make a sea change to their minds. And later, they're going to thank you for it.